This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Hey, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Manny Navarro. Manny, how you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling great, looking forward to hopefully these coaching hires being finalized, and then spring practice is March 7th. That'll be fun to hopefully we'll get a chance to go out there and see Mario and his guys in action.
That's right. Give people the spring dates, by the way, so they know what's the deal.
Yeah,
with the spring date?
so spring football is going to open March 7th, and I think they're going to have 3 practices that first week. Then they're going to be off for spring break, come back, and then it'll all culminate the final 12 practices with the spring game. I believe April 16th is what I remember off the top of my head. I think it is April 16th at it's supposed to be at up in Fort Lauderdale at the DRV PNK Stadium, right, where the soccer team is. So, I would imagine fans would probably be allowed to attend the spring game. I know COVID still technically exists, but they had fans at football games this year, so I don't know that that'll be an issue. But we'll see. We'll see how that progresses. We didn't necessarily have all that sort of stuff available the last couple of years, obviously. So now hopefully, it'll be well attended.
All right, so let me speak for the peoples. What about fan access? What's going to happen for these spring practices? Does Mario play the paranoia game and he closes everybody out, or do Canes fans get a little taste of the Canes?
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that that there will be some level of access, even if it's just for media, so that we can see a little bit and then be able to report on stuff. I know Manny Diaz last time around allowed us to watch the first 2. I think it was the first 2 practices we got to watch from beginning to end. They were in shorts and helmets. I think that kind of stuff is usually what they're okay with letting you watch, because they're just going through drills and working and whatnot. So we'll see. I think as far as fans and access and getting autographs and all that stuff, again, I don't know where we are with COVID protocols, if they'll advance to that point. I mean, really what fans want is to be able to meet the players. A lot of them want to be able to say hi to them and whatnot. So I don't know where we're at with that. Hopefully we'll get some answers here soon. But the good thing is, I think, things are progressing in the right way if you're a Miami fan. The program continues to do well as far as hiring coaches and recruiting, and everything else is going in good direction. So hopefully fan access will be included in that here in the next month.
All right, let's hope so, man. I would like to see the fans get a little access. Are you guys going to get access? Do you guys do the media get to watch a little bit, as long as they're quiet, I guess?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. We'll find out. I mean, I would assume we would be able to get to go down there and watch even 10 or 15 minutes. They let us do that last year in the fall.
Stretching, really?
Yes, stretching, right? I don't know. I don't know how Mario's going to handle it. Mario is from the old school, where back in the day when he played there, media had access every day. We could talk to whoever we wanted to coming off the field. I doubt that's going to be the case the way football is modernized. But he does remember the good old days when you could go down and watch and participate and interview whoever you wanted. We'll see. It's a good question to ask. I know the guys at Oregon who have covered him the last couple of years. I've talked about limited access and they don't get to see anything and this and that. I don't know. Miami football wants fans in the stands. I know that. They want to be able to pay the bills. So more access, the better, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think that would be actually awesome. All right, coaching wise, any changes? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have a hire here, probably as a defensive ends coach, potentially somebody who could do special teams as well. I think those are the primary focuses right now. I've heard a couple different names I don't want to necessarily put out there, because, you don't know if they're legitimate or not. It's just kind of what's been going through the rumor mill. One of them is an assistant at LSU. Another one's a guy who was at Georgia and had actually coached here before, who's got special teams experience. I'll let the listeners who know what I'm referring to as far as histories as potential guys. Those are 2 programs, but I think they're going to be elite coaches, guys that have come from pedigree SEC type teams, and I think those are the guys that you'll see hired here. Hopefully it gets done. I'm tired of looking at Twitter. I'm tired of texting people saying, hey, is this real? Is this going to happen? Is it, what's the deal with that? I kind of just want to be able to take my eyes off of it for a little while,
No, I'm with you there. It makes a lot of it's just a tedious thing that you have to,
Mm-hmm.
and because he's been so deliberate about this and he has taken his time, that's why it drags on. And then what also drags on, the rumors and the reports and the fake names being thrown out there and all that stuff. So it's got to be a pain in the ass for you to have to follow all this stuff all the time. The recruiting, I know that this is kind of the dead period now, but again, we always hear about transfer portal and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So what are we hearing now so far on the
Well,
personnel side?
Well, they lost one player. I think what we're going to start to see is some exits. And yesterday was one of the first ones. Larry Hodges, who was here for 3 years, a kid out of the Tampa area, he got himself suspended. I think before his second season here, or maybe it was this past season where he got himself in trouble with the law. He got arrested and then missed the first few games. They have to get under 85. They have to get to 85, and right now they're over that. I've told you guys that in the last couple of times I've been on that they're. I think they're like 88, 87 scholarships right now. So at some point here, there's going to be guys getting run off. And Mario basically hinted at that. He talked about how, if they're going to add guys through the portal, they also got to look at the guys they've got here first, right? Give them an opportunity. And then, you get the tap on the shoulder. Hey, son, I think you should go play somewhere else,
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is what we're going to be seeing here in the next couple of weeks as spring football progresses, as guys start to see the expectations or potential roles that they're going to have. What you don't want to have happen, is what happened to Miami this past season with Manny Diaz, right? Where in the middle of the season, you had guys quitting on the team, entering the portal, or getting frustrated with the role and becoming sort of a locker room cancer. I think Mario wants to try to get that over and done with here early in the process so that when you get to the fall, maybe you have one or two at the end of camp where guys are saying, okay, I'm not going to play here. I'm out. I'm going to go to the portal. But for the most part, the earlier you can weed guys out and the more you can sort of free up scholarships, I think that's the objective here.
It's interesting, Manny, because the Dolphins and the Canes have a lot in common lately, right? Both haven't had a lot of success lately, right? Both are
Right.
struggling. Both have struggled on the offensive line to really develop a line and an identity and consistency and all of that. Well, we're watching Mike McDaniel hire a boatload of people to help out, to run the block, all that kind of stuff. With Frank Smith, with Applebaum himself, he kept around Stoodsville. So he got 4 guys now. Well,
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at the Canes, and they're kind of doing the same thing too. There's a huge emphasis starting with the head coach, and obviously his 2 guys that are there with him too, that he brought from Oregon. So there's seems to be also a big emphasis in Coral Gables, like there is in Miami Gardens, on that offensive line.
No, that's where it all starts. And really, I mean, if you're going to get to the level where you're playing for championships, you got to be big on both sides of the ball. You got to be dominant on both sides of the ball. And right now, face the facts, man. I just did an entire roster breakdown for The Athletic. You go back and you look, there's a lot of experience that was gone off of this team from last year. There's 17 starters at Miami, double-digit career starts. I mean, over 30,000 snaps between those kids, and a few of them were offensive linemen. You had the Jared Williams kid, who was one of your better players at right tackle. He's gone. You have Navon Donaldson, who at times when he wanted to be dominant could push the line of scrimmage, but it wasn't always the case. So you're losing all these guys.
He was more dominant in the drive-through with me, but go ahead.
So you're losing these guys, and you want to get tougher and stronger, more physical up front. It's going to take a process. It's going to take the weight room. It's going to take this offseason conditioning program. And then it's going to take weeding out the guys who aren't the material to be here. Right. Like that's, and so
by the way, wasn't that Navon Donaldson in the halftime show singing in the club? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That was Donaldson. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't believe he was hanging backwards like that.
I mean,
either.
that was impressive by Navon. I got to tell you, that was impressive.
But my point is, man, like, to get to that process, you need to have the right kind of coaches in here. Okay. And I liked Garen Justice a lot as an offensive lineman. I don't have a problem with him, but you need support staff, right? You need guys working with the offensive linemen to get them in the right weight, to get them nimble, all those kind of things. I think he's hired 3 or 4 different strength coaches, to bulk up here and get every one of these guys taken care of. It's him and Mirabal together going to be coaching the offensive line. and he's looking for he's going to have essentially 2 defensive line coaches here. He's got Salave, who's probably going to focus on tackles, and then an ends coach is what most of us think will happen here. So yes, up front is where it begins. But as far as the process is concerned, still weeding out guys and still getting to the point where you have the right kind of people in the program. And that's why I tell Miami fans who are all excited, say, oh man, we're, all we got to do is change the coach and we're going to be winning ACC championships. Personnel is still a big part of this, dude.
Yeah, of course. No, you got to personnel and coaching, man, are incredibly important. And we know that they haven't had they've had some personnel, not all the personnel, and they certainly have not had the coaching.
No.
And that's just something that has stood out badly, unfortunately, for the Canes.
Yeah, and it's going to get better. I think ultimately here, having Mario in place, being an offensive line guy, there are going to be great offensive linemen who are going to want to come play here. And I think, Miami's backyard, unfortunately, this area, you just don't produce offensive linemen. South Florida, you do not produce high quality, draftable offensive linemen. You'll have some size, but you're not going to have the best of the best. You got to go to other parts of the country. I think Mario is going to be able to recruit some elite offensive linemen. Hopefully, once the defensive line situation sort of worked out, we'll see who they hire to coach ends. You get another guy who can build elite pass rushers, because you have some talent on here. I like the 2 kids that they picked up here, Nigel Kelly and Cyrus Moss in this recruiting class. Those are big, long body kids who sort of project to be Sunday players. But they need to be coached up. They need to put on weight. That process takes a while. So right. I think next year there's still going to be moments where we're sitting here saying, man, the offensive line doesn't look as good as you want it to be, and the defensive line isn't putting the kind of pressure you want. And I don't think it's going to have as much to do with coaching as it is just getting the right kind of players in here and building them into the way that you want them to look.
Subscribe to The Athletic. Follow my man Manny on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, so you can catch the best coverage of your Canes, and you can catch him here a couple times a week with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. Manny, as always, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Good talking to you, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro.